My name is Renee Thomas, and I present and advocate for your brain. So, if you're seeking to level up how your mind is reacting and navigating through life, then this is the place to be. Did you know that Wednesday is Wellness Day? So, it's the perfect day to do something with your mind. Okay, so we're going to talk about something that is related to the times that we're in right now. We're actually going to talk about our emotions during November and December. So it's a very interesting time. People are a lot of happy about some things, but there are other things that are constantly there that are in the background, and that they actually end up instead of making November and December a really good time the way they want it to be, it ends up becoming something that they have to deal with every single year. So let's talk about leveling up in November and December. Okay. So why is November and December such a interesting time for individuals? What is it that happens? Okay. Well, in November and December is when the days get shorter. And then we have that lovely time change. And all of a sudden, you hear a lot of conversations about the time change. Now, what's going on is when you have shorter days with the sun, sometimes it affects people. Okay. And the ones that it affects them, they just don't like it. So you hear a lot of conversation about not doing well with the time change, the dark when they get up or the dark when they're going home. And so it kind of puts a drag. Okay. And they have mental fog. Okay. That less sunlight. So when the time changes, you're going to see this shift in many, many, many people, even shift in fatigue, shift in appetite. Okay. All of that can take place. Okay. And maybe even social withdrawal. Okay. Because it also affects people who have issues with driving at night or being out at night, the fear of it not being safe. Okay. So the other thing is social media. Okay. Versus the reality. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of promotion of good times and people having good times. It's the holiday season. Okay. And so that's a initial, oh, exciting. It's going to be that time. But then for individuals who have within them experiences that were maybe bad during the holidays, or they're starting to look and see that everybody has someone and maybe they don't have plans, maybe they're not with someone. So they start feeling lonely. Or stress. So is that something that ever happened to you? Okay. So they start to compare their joy. So you're looking at the joy of others on social media, and then you're looking at your joy, and they're comparing it. And sometimes it can start to make one start to feel down about their joy. Interesting. Okay. The other thing is it's a pressure cooker for expectations. It's been a year. What have I done? Nothing's changed. Okay. It makes people reflect. Okay. And they're reflecting at what they achieved and what they didn't achieve. And it's a lot of pressure they put on themselves. And they may start to have a lot of serious self-talk. That's not very helpful. So does that have ever happened to you? So you've got three factors there. You've got in November, December, you've got the holiday season, and there's that comparison that goes on that we may see in social media or in movies or things like that. We also have the pressure of expectations upon ourselves, right? And then possibly we may be dealing with a change, physical change within our systems because of the shorter days. So is there anything that you can do about that? Yes. Yes, you can. There is something that you can do about it. So these patterns, as they keep occurring, they become more enforced for you. They're more enforced, and they're becoming like automatic programs now for you. Okay? And so the more we just tolerate them and allow them to be, they become as natural. That's just the way it is. And your brain doesn't say anything about, hey, let's change that. It doesn't say that at all. It just says that's the way it is. Oh, interesting. So let's look at it with regards to neuroplasticity. Okay, because that's what we're all about here. Okay, so what is it that we can do? What's going on with the brain? That's what's going on in the brain. Those patterns, they're becoming programs that your brain is running on. Okay, so neurons that wire together, they fire together. So the more you do a particular feeling or more do a particular action and you link it together, well, that's what the brain does. It's supposed to keep doing those things. So it makes life easy for you. But if you got something linked that you don't want, if you got neurons firing that you don't want, it's okay. Because the same feature that allows it to do that can also allow you to rewire. Isn't that exciting? So all of the things that people may have said, which is you can't control your thoughts, or you can't control your feelings, or you can't teach a dog new tricks, or anything that's telling you that your brain cannot change what it's been doing because it's been doing it all your life, or it's been doing it a long time. Yes, that is true if you don't know how to do subconscious rewiring. And so when we think about what we learned in school, like reading, writing, and math, okay, that's just basic stuff that they teach us. And so most people now can do reading, writing, and math. Now, this subject, this gap that we didn't have in education is the reason why we don't know how to do subconscious wiring and we don't know anything about neuroplasticity. And that's the only reason that the brain is not doing it. There's nothing wrong with your brain. It just wasn't taught and it wasn't shown what its power. Just like if you get a smartphone, the smartphone can do a lot. Okay. Oh, I got someone who said something, so I'm just going to say hi. So it can do a lot for you. But if you don't know it, or if you're scared of it, you won't mess around on your smartphone. Okay. How many people do you know that the only thing they do on it is answer the phone or maybe make a text? But there's lots of things you can do, like pay your bills, GPS, do a video, go live on YouTube. There are a lot of things that you can do, but you're not using it. There's a lot of things your brain does for you. And that's why I'm an advocate and a presenter for your brain. I want you to know how marvelous your brain is. Your brain is super marvelous. And the more we get to know about it, the more we can actually use it. And the more we use it, the less afraid that we become of what our brain is doing. So what's happened is as a child, we may have had maybe a reaction to something. Now, because most of our parents don't know how to do subconscious wiring, they don't really know what to do for you. And so a lot of times what's done is not the most helpful that helps you to start to use your neuroplasticity. Okay. And so that's why you have so many people with a lot of different triggers, a lot of past things that are still hanging on years after year after year after year. Interesting, isn't it? So because we didn't know about it, because of the gap in our education, there's nothing wrong with the brain. Okay? Nothing wrong with the brain. Because of the gap, we don't know what the brain can do and we don't know how to use it. And mainstream is not in our education. It's not in our education. So we don't know how to do it. So if we didn't have reading, writing, and math, would it not be difficult to do a lot of things in life? Well, it's really difficult not to do a lot of things that we can do because of not having this education. So that's what we teach here. Start to have you love your brain and start to thrive, because the brain was designed so you can thrive. Now, neuroplasticity, depending on how you use it, will cause you to thrive. But if you don't know about it, and if you're not utilizing it to your advantage, it can cause mental chaos. And that's it. So the more you learn about it, the more you start doing some of the things that help it, you'll see amazing shifts in how your brain is navigating. And you'll actually be in control or in charge or the coordinator, whatever it is that you want to call it, of how your brain is reacting to things in life, okay? So neurons that fire together, wire together, that's what that's all about. And the more you know about it, relationships, finances, emotions, physical things, illnesses, all of this is all connected. And as you hang out with me here every Wednesday at 7 p.m., you'll get to get all the goodies on it. So let's see here. We're going to see if we can go ahead and do a little rewire assessment, okay? But first we have to understand the brain is like our garden. It's a garden, okay? So if you had a garden, you wanted a garden, if you had one, what do you want in your garden? You want food that you can eat. And you probably even want to plant food that grows really good in your area, right? Do you want weeds? Does anybody want weeds in their garden? If you don't want weeds in your garden, why don't you want weeds in the garden? What can it do with the plants that you've planted? Yes. It can choke them out. So we can do a lot of preventative, right? And sustaining things for our garden to make sure that our food plants grow. So some people might do what's called like mulching, and that's actually some turning of the ground, and it helps I think, to block the sunlight so the weeds don't grow. Okay. Some people may, for sustaining, they cultivate or they do regular maintenance. They see a little thing sprouting up that's a weed. Oop, boom. They pick it out right away. So they do that because they're taking care of their garden. We were not taught how to take care of our garden. We were not given instructions, specific instructions. There are specific instructions that we can do that make it very easy. It makes our brain not seem unpredictable or our brain scary. And it's just because we weren't shown. It's that gap. That's it. Don't worry about it. Nothing wrong with the brain. The brain is actually producing things based on programs that were put in. And most of them unknowingly, do not fret, were from our childhood. So it's not like we're going in there putting in things that are not helping us. We actually were unknowingly programmed. But don't forget, neuroplasticity allows you to reprogram. So that's exciting. So you have a mental garden. You have a mental garden. And in that mental garden, we'll see you, Queen. We'll check you out next time. Thanks for coming. In that mental garden, we get to cultivate it, germinate it, put in programs, reinstall programs, pick out weeds if we need to. We can even put programs that automatically pick out weeds. Isn't that nice? So your garden can actually do a lot of the hard work. Most people are running around doing coping and managing skills, which takes a lot of mental effort, which is why a lot of people don't really want to mess around what their brain is saying unless it's way much. Then they have to do some with it. But it's because they've ignored it for so long, that's why they have to do so way much. Okay? So this is what we do in order to help our brains navigate its way through life with the unwanted, the unexpected, the unknown. You put in programs, your brain knows how to handle them. We don't have programs except for a program that says if something unwanted happens, we get mad, angry, have a meltdown, have to take a break, all of those, because we were unknowingly taught that. So it's okay. And again, there's nothing wrong with our brain. We're just going to start to understand our brain so it can thrive. It's kind of like if you went to another country and you wanted to thrive in that country, what would you do? You would learn the language. You need to learn the language of your brain. The brain has a language. And a lot of the things we do, a lot of things I didn't realize the brain was interpreting as something else. So it kept producing what I was saying I don't want to. So you learn all of that with neuroplasticity. Remember, it's just a gap in our education. Mainstream education. So it's not like math was put in and civics and social studies. We had a lot of things that were put into our basic education, but this was not. And so we can actually level up and do it ourselves. It's not a problem. We can just do it ourselves. So we're going to do the little rewire. Okay. Now remember, The brain rewiring has to do with changing deep-seated beliefs. Okay? And it's going to align your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. When the conscious mind and the subconscious are in alignment, okay, when they are in alignment, they do wonders for you. When they are out of alignment, well, it's another story. And you probably feel it a lot. Okay, so we're going to do the 3-step thought process. It allows your brain to adjust any situation for a resolution. This is not a managing and coping so that you can then have to deal with it again tomorrow and the next day and the day after and next week and next year. It's all sitting there. All of those things that we discussed about what our brain is doing during November, December, you can address it. If you want to address it now, we can see if you have a different shift for November and December. Okay? And so if you think about it, if you saw a tree and you pulled it out by the roots, or a weed and you pulled it out by the roots, does it regrow or does it stay gone? And as we're doing this little rewire, I'm going to ask you to do certain things in the comments. I'm not just asking you to put comments for any particular reason. It's to actually help with the process. Now, if you choose not to do the rewire, that's fine. You can always come back at another time because it will be replayed. So no biggie. The other thing is I will say optional, or if you want, if I ask for a comment, then that's optional. But the other ones, when we're doing the session, then you want to do the comment unless I say optional or if you want. Okay, so you're going to identify the problem. So of the ones that we talked about the November and December, some dealing with emotional, maybe depression, sadness, comparing themselves to other people's happiness, all of that, the time change, how you feel. You want to say which of those that I'm just not crazy about, and I want to see if I do a little shift on it, if it changes my way my brain reacts to it. And that's what we're going to do right now. So I want you to think about it, identify your problem. And take a deep breath. Okay. So what's going on, okay, when you are having these concerns in November and December? What does your brain or your mind tell you about it? Is it saying, oh, I start to remember bad times in my childhood? Maybe even someone may have passed away, and so it's kind of put a squash, right? Maybe you get sad. Maybe you have mental fog. Take a breath. Maybe you get short-tempered or moody. Take a breath. And if you want, you can do a little tapping here. That's actually called defracking. So as you're thinking about what you're doing, this is soothing. So it's kind of what's called like an interruption. Okay, so it's soothing. Kind of what a mom does when a baby's crying. They rock it or they pat it. Okay, so you're going to learn how to take care of yourself. Okay, now this is where you're going to notice if there's any sensations in your body when you think about those times. Okay, and then you're going to kind of rate it, like how difficult it is for you during those times. Now, this is where you're going to go ahead and participate. If you're going to do the rewire, then you're going to start participating. So you're going to write in the comments or on a piece of paper 10 names backwards. There's a reason why I have you writing and a reason why I'm having you do this. So go ahead and do that, and I'm going to give you some time to do it. Ten names, boys or girls, doesn't make a difference. Write them backwards. Okay, so my name is Renee, and I write it backwards, E-E-N-E-R. Now, let's do a little bit of imagination here. Let's say that you're in a swing. You remember being in a swing or in a hammock? And you know that nice little, okay? Feel like you are swinging, kind of like feel it. Now, sometimes people have a hard time with that. That's okay. You can just imagine that you are at the beach or something that it's easy for you to imagine. But a swing, I like because there's the movement of it. Maybe you're a person who swims, imagine swimming. Or maybe you're a person who rock climbs. Just imagine something like that. And it's going to be 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Take a deep breath anytime you want and keep doing that imagination. So you may think, well, it's not possible to control how I feel. Okay? It's just part of being human. I should be allowed to be who I am and not change it. That's very true. Take a deep breath and let it out. Another deep breath. Let it out. So now you're going to write 10 more names backwards. So let's do that. 10 more names backwards. You put it in the comments. You can write it on a piece of paper, whatever it is that you like. That's what you're going to do. I'll give you another few seconds. It's okay if you don't think of all 10. This is not about getting all 10. It's just about your mind thinking. So it's a good thing it's thinking. Now let's jump back on that swing. Imagine the movement. Swing high or jump off. Did you ever used to leap off? Whatever you feel like doing. Just get that nice rhythm, nice, fun, or pleasant. Take a deep breath and continue thinking of like if you're in a swing or a hammock. Enjoy it. What do you hear when you're on the hammock? Someone nice pushing you on the swing. You're having a good time with your friends. Take a deep breath. Now, what else is it about November and December? Okay. Now, my brain is accustomed to feeling this way, right? It's okay. Take a breath. Do you have any other unhelpful, disappointing, depressing memories during this time? Does it go up and down? That's just the way it's always been. Are you comparing yourself to other individuals, their lives, wishing you had theirs and not being content with your own? Take a deep breath. Let it out. Now, let's go ahead one last time. This time I want you to do objects. Look around you. Look around. And see what objects are around you. And if you want to elevate this, what you would do is you could say like a light. And so light is THGIL. Or you could just spell it forward, LIGHT. Okay. You can imagine what you see, a light. So you can advance those a little bit. There's a reason why you're doing this step. Whenever you do the online course that's free, it talks about the 3 steps. It explains. Now let's just do a little tapping here and just say, I release all my sinuses. Or maybe not. It's okay. All my fears. Or maybe not. And I do the I maybe not because I don't want to make myself feel pressured. just want it to decide on its own that it likes to do without it. All emotional traumas, all my memories, what I can remember, what I can't remember, all my anger, resentment and guilt, judgments and abandonments, betrayals, helplessness, hopelessness, feelings of no control, and rejections. Take a deep breath. Shame and secrets, anything that supports these. Take a deep breath. Let it all go. It's safe to let it go. Take a deep breath. Smile. Is there a peaceful memory that you like? Is something that always makes you feel good? Think of that. Maybe it's a pet. Maybe it's a cat. Doggy. Maybe imagine you're a little squirrel. I don't know, anything. So let's address that. We're not used to really dealing with our emotions and thoughts, and so it's kind of seems awkward, or maybe it seems scary. Take a deep breath, let it out. It's safe to actually work with your brain, or you think it's not safe. Take a deep breath, let it out. The anxious feelings that you feel, wherever that is, take a deep breath, release it, and let it out. Now, I want you to write backwards. Last time on your page, I want you to write your full name backwards and any of your family members that you love so much. Write it backwards. Good job. So that's actually how subconscious wiring works with a 3-step thought process. And what it does is each time you do a round, it will start to shift. Your emotions will start to release from what is attached. So now, if you're looking at your emotions and you think about the holidays or the winter, you'll notice a shift. It'll be less intense. And so you actually, if you sit down and you work with yourself one time a week, Wellness Wednesday is a good day to do it. 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever you like. You'll do a video, do a worksheet, any of the ones that are on DIYmentalboost.com that are free. They're all free. Just download them or watch the videos here on the YouTube channel. Or you can actually do an online course that takes you through different emotions or takes you through different videos. So you can do those too. They're all free. You're welcome to them. I also welcome donations. So that's always welcome. All of the work that is provided is actually done by monthly donations from business owners or individuals. So it allows me to offer the workshops that I do for free. And you can sign up for those. You can get those also on my website. It's all free because I believe that this is information that should have been given to us when we were in school. And when we were in school, we just got it for free. It's that basic that we could have learned it very simply, and it's that important. I don't want anyone to have a reason when it comes to budget-wise that they can't help themselves, because actually neuroplasticity helps with finances and budgets and things like that. So we will be looking at all those different things. Today we did neuroplasticity, talked a little bit about emotional intelligence and subconscious rewiring, and that's what we do here at this channel. I am an advocate. I am a presenter for your brain. Your brain is your number one supporter. So we're always looking on the outside, and then we get mad because we're not getting what we want because we don't know how to get it for ourselves. But when you do know how to support yourself, then any support you get from anyone else will be icing on the cake. You won't be judgmental about it because you're not desperate for support. You'll know how to give it to yourself. That's nice, huh? Supporting yourself. So it's okay to need help. But when you know how to help yourself, and when you know how to navigate emotional intelligence when things are not going the way you want, There won't be a mental chaos. Your conscious mind, your subconscious mind will stay in sync to let you hear, think, see everything that is going to help you to stay in a thriving state. Right now, whenever we get into if you get into a lower vibe state, isn't that what the brain does? Someone says something to help, and you're like, oh, no, that's going to work. Or you look at something, and they're saying something, and you know they're saying something that's against you. And that comes from the fact that your brain's job is to keep you in your status quo. And that's a good thing when it's in an elevated state. But when it drops into a lower state, which is okay, all emotions are purposeful, but it's just trying to tell you, I need some personal attention. And you know it. That's why you're seeking it from others. But you don't know how to give yourself your own personal attention. Get your own personal attention, and you won't be that isolating from others. Okay? You'll be able to connect with even more people who will be able to help you to sustain. This is Renee Thomas with DIY Mental Boost. I'm an advocate and a presenter for your mind. It's your supporter. It was designed to do for you, to do all the hard work. When we don't know about neuroplasticity, subconscious rewiring, we are not using neuroplasticity in the best way. And then it creates things we don't want. So the brain loves your guidance. That's it. It can only do what you tell it. It doesn't make up this stuff on its own. But our environment, TVs, movies, songs, they all influence us. It's called heterosuggestion. And those things we don't think are affecting us are affecting us. And so you need to be aware of it so that you know how to sustain, how to do regular maintenance. I'll be here next Wednesday, and I'll see you here. I thank you for coming. And if this is on the replay, thank you. I appreciate your support. I'm going to go ahead and sign off unless anyone has any questions. You can put it in the chat. Okay? I think that's a wrap. See you next Wednesday.